Hello, my friends. This video is my Garden of Thanks workshop kit. Now, if you wanted to, you could take the kit um, that you get from Stampin' Up. And this particular card kit creates 3 each of those beautiful cards. And you can do them just like that, and they would be lovely. Here is how beautiful everything is. Look at all that beautiful, gorgeous. These are punch outs. So while you're waiting, you can go ahead and punch those out. These are the different card bases. Here's more punch outs. All right, so we've got 3 different card bases. 1, 2, 3. You've got 9 envelopes. And then you've got all of these beautiful punch outs right here. So you could take all of that and do it just the way the kit says, and that would be just fine. It also comes with this stamp set. You get a block, you get these little sticker, they're 2-sided adhesive dots that are super sticky and awesome for holding your ribbon. The ribbon comes with it, these gems come with it, and you get a little mini ink. So everything you need is really in the box to make it happen. Oh, there's foam tape in there too. So you really could do the cards just like that with that. If you got my kit, in addition to all those things, you also got all these beautiful things that I've already cut out for you. Set all of those aside. Then you've got all the pieces, and the way I do it is I break it up into 1, 2, 3 different sections, because we're going to do 6 pages. So it's 2, 4, 6 pages. And in the back, you've got cardstock that you're going to cut down. You need 5 4x6s. So 5 4x6s, 5 4x4s, 6 3x3s, or 6, I'm sorry, 6 3x4s, and 2 3x3s. You're going to cut all of that out of this paper here. And then this is what we're going to create with this project. So we've got that layout. And this one has a little hidden pocket for extra photos, memorabilia, whatever you have there. This is our next layout. This one also has a hidden pocket where you'll have extra cards at the end. You could just slide a card right in there. You'd have to cut it down just a little bit. Oh, no, you wouldn't, because they're the right size. And I'm going to, when I do this project, move that over a little bit. You don't need this. You want a little bit of the flower hanging over to help keep that flap down, but you don't necessarily need it quite that far over. And then this is our 3rd set of pages, and this one also has a little pocket with a card inside. So those are the pages we're going to create with these papers. Let's get started. There are some other inks you're going to want. I used Mocha, Fern, Thistle, Eggplant, and Blackberry Bliss, in addition to the Misty Moonlight that comes in the kit. So those are the inks I used. Then I also used white gloss spray, blending brushes, white gel pens, and a water brush. And you'll want, and a journaling pen. If you got my kit, just read right down here the different supplies that you'll need and go ahead and grab those. So go ahead and set all the rest of them aside and grab just the 2 whites and all the pieces on top there. You're also going to need one of the envelopes and the blue cards. Cut the front and the back separate so that you end up with 6 different pieces. That's what we'll need to start this page. And the first thing we're going to do is tape 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces down up against the edges of the top and bottom of both of those pages. All right, so once we've got that down, let's start with, this is the right-hand page. We're going to put one of our cards right in between those spaces there. Then we're going to take the, you need two of these strips. Let's get some tape on these. And these are going to go on the top and the bottom here. And I am going to line it up so that it covers up some of my pattern paper. Just a little bit. That way we've got all of the cards showing. Now what we want to do is we're going to add this piece, and we want, actually go ahead and cut this. We want 2 inches, so that this is going to be 2 and this side's going to be 2 1/4. So here we go, lined right up at the 2-inch mark. So here's our 2-inch piece and here's our 2.5-inch piece. The 2-inch piece is going here. And I'm lining it up so that when we carry this over, oh, let me make this straight first. Mhm. Just have to tuck this a little bit here. Okay, now we're going to take this piece, and that is going to line up against that 2-inch piece like that. Then this piece, so this one's going to be the right side, this is going to be the left side. Now we're going to take this piece and line that up right in here. So that way we know we're carrying that whole flow right across the page. Then we need a whole card on this side. And then go ahead and add those strips. And then this one is going to, you want it same spacing, kind of top and bottom here, but it's also going to line up on the edge here and come this way. Now with one of the cards that you've got left, you want 1 3/4 inch strips. So 1, 2, this one's going to be a little bit over, but that's okay. So we've got those 3 there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 stacks here. So we've got 3 pieces that look like this, 3 that look like this, and 3 that look like this. Take these ones here, and you're going to rip and just kind of create this little loop. Then you want one of the white ones to fit inside of there. So you might have to play around with it a little bit. Pull a little bit of this off. And once you do the first one, you're going to start with the white one, but I find that it's easier to start with this piece when you're first starting it, because you kind of get a feel for how big it needs to be that way. Okay, so then we've got those 2 pieces. Then you can go ahead and tape this right onto one of the blue, the dark blue pieces, and then that'll give you a guide for how you're going to rip that one. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a torn little scallop. So do that with all 3 of these, so you end up with 3 pieces that look similar. And then once you have those ripped the way you want them to, one of them is going to go at the top of this page, about 2.5 inches over from the right-hand side. And you can either leave it on top or tuck it underneath, or you can even cut it down a little further or rip it down a little further if you want. And then we're going to add our photo mat. So we need a 4x4 and 2 of the 3x4s. And these are going down before we put our envelope down so that we know exactly where we want our envelope to be. Because these photo mats are actually going to help us kind of guide where that envelope's going to fall. All right, so grab your envelope, and what we want to do is cut 1 inch off of the top. So I'm lining it up, make sure it's flush, and I'm putting the top of that scallop at the 1 inch mark, cutting right there. Then when I put adhesive on my envelope, it's going along the bottom, up the sides just to that little flap there. And then we want to do this kind of arched area so that we can still, this is still open and we can still slide stuff in. Now this is going flush against here and flush against this picture, right, like that. Then you can add a 3x4 picture if you want, or a 4x6 picture. So I'll show you one side, we'll do the 3x4. Then the other side, we'll do the 4x6. And then this just tucks right down into that pocket. Set this aside, we will use it. And right now, grab all your little fun embellishment pieces. Let's do some of our stamping before we add all of our little pieces. So you need that fun, kind of florally looking stamp that we on this layout are using as some seagrass. So this one on this side, you want it to be close to the edge. Then on the envelope, we're going to do it 3 different times. We want one to be kind of down in this area. The next one is going to go up here. And then we want one more that's about an inch over from this side. Okay. Then if you want to add You're the Best, you've got that place right there to make that happen. Our seashells are going to be, oops, not that one, we want this one. So we're going to do our biggest, and if you want, you can use foam tape or you can just tape them flat. We've got this one that's going to kind of cover up that middle section there. And then our smallest blue, grab from the punch outs, you need one of these green ones. They punch out really easy. You just have to be careful, be gentle with it. And when I put the adhesive on this, I'm just gonna use my other shell to help keep all that sticky in one place. All right, and this one is tucking underneath there. This one I've got so that it's overlapping that flap just a little bit. And then our big starfish is going to go right in here. Then off to this side, we've got another one of those little sprigs. grab some of your ribbon, and I find it's easiest if you just kind of wrap it around a couple of fingers and then snip it off. And then you can kind of adjust the length of some over others, just so you get different dimensions there. And on this one, I have two ends that are sticking out. So I'm actually going to flip this over so that I am keeping this end a little more similar. And then we're going to use these little sticky circles. These are fabulous. Put a couple of these on here. And then the backing comes off. Get these little circle discs everywhere when you're all done, but that's all right. All right, so I've got my little discs off there, and now I'm going to put this string right behind here. All right, so we got our string kind of hanging there. Bring that one on that side. And then we're going to do the pink one is going to overlap the pictures just a little bit. And then so is this tan one. Again, we got our strings hanging. Then this big blue one is actually going to tuck behind that big picture there and overlap. We've got a little starfish there. And then to finish this page off, in addition to if you want to do the words, we've got big, little, 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 big from your little gems. And then they come off real easy, so you can use your fingers to place them, or you can use scissors or a piercing tool, or anything that makes you happy to do that. If you're going to stamp the words here, do that before you add the gem. I'm opting to not add the words this time. But that's it. That page is done, and we can move on to the other side. Here's what we already had started. You're going to go ahead and add 2 of your 4x6 mats. Then we've got our 2 little ripped pieces. And if you want, you can even add I added some journaling lines on both of those so that I had a little extra place to do some journaling. Totally up to you. So again, I'm just going to slide it behind there. All right, then we've got our envelope piece, that piece that we cut off. That's going to line up right over here, kind of in between on that blue piece. Grab that stamp again, and we're going to do 2 on this side. The first one is going to go as close as you can to the top there on the blue. And then the other one's going to go sideways just underneath it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add, we've got the green and all the rest of our little sea critters are going to get added. We'll need some more ribbon up here too. So I put the green one down and slid the stem underneath the picture. Then we've got the pink one. Then we've got that tan one. The blue one here, and I've already added my string to it. And that's going to just come up here, and I've got the strings just kind of flopping around there. 2 starfish. So we've got our big starfish that'll tuck in over here, and I want him to go under the strings. And then the little one. And then our gems. Big, little. Little. So in addition to the lines that I did, On both pages, I also took the white gel pen and I did dots at the ends of all those fun little sprigs. As much or little as that as you want to do, and we can move on to our next page. We're going to do a couple of fun techniques with this one. The first thing I want you to do is we're going to tear our paper in 3 spots. So this, on one of them, we're going to do kind of near the top and a little bit on the side here, maybe down 1 inch. Then on the other one, we're going to tear off the bottom corner. And I find that the easiest way to do that is to first get the section you want to tear just a little bit wet, because your paper will rip so much easier if it's just a little bit wet. Just wetting down the places that I want to tear, and then I'm tearing toward me. I'm using white core cardstock, so if I tear toward me, it's going to reveal that white core. And then the other place, so I've got along the top here. And a little bit of the side. And then we've got 3 of these purpley jobbers. Figure out which space needs the biggest and use that there. And all I'm going to do is just put some adhesive around that torn section and line it up on the back. So we've got that one there. This one here. Now when I turn that over, see we've got that section then covered up. And we'll do this last corner here. And this one we need to line up the side and the bottom. So there we go. Now we got that corner all squared away. Okay. Next, we're going to go back to that stamp we were using, and this time I'm going to use eggplant, or you can use the Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to start with the piece that has 2 rips on it. I'm making a mess over here. Slide those pieces over. All right, so this has 2 rips on it. And I'm going to stamp on this one. I want 1 stamp right down here toward the middle bottom-ish. Then I want a cluster in this corner over here, coming right up near our rip. And then I'm going to do another one off to the other side of the rip. Then on our other page, we're going to do 3 different stamps. So here we want about 4.5 inches over is where we want this one to fall. And we're going to do 1, 2, and then down here about 2.5 inches over from that side, we'll do this one right here. Okay, we're going to go back to this one to assemble first. So that's the one that's got 2 rips on it. And this time we need our card bases that have the flowers on them. And these ones, again, you're going to cut them right in half. All right, so here's what the fronts and the backs look like. There's the one that's got the white along the edge. We're going to cut this one, and the one that doesn't have the white, as much white. And you want this leaf up here to kind of be tucked down. And we're going to cut 1 inch off of the other side. Okay, this 1 inch is now what we're going to be using over on this side. So 1 inch, and this is going 2 inches up from the bottom. So we've got that one. Then we're going to take that same piece that's mostly got flowers everywhere, and you're going to use that whole card. And again, 2 inches up from the bottom. Line that one up right like that. Now we're going to grab this piece here, and you need one of your envelopes. And we're going to tape this envelope the same way we taped it on the last one. So up the side, along the bottom, up the side, and then across this arch. Then we're going to line this up. You want this to be taller versus wider. And you want the envelope to fall about 1/2 inch over from the right-hand side. And just fold that flap right down. And this now is attached to that piece and has become a little pocket for us to store stuff. Okay, now go ahead, and this piece is going to get taped. You want it flush to this side, about 3/4 inch down from that floral piece, so that it falls right about there. Now we're going to take, we've got 3 of these strips. You're going to take 2 of them, and they're going to go on the top and bottom of this green piece. And obviously they're a little long, so you're going to need to trim. They line right up. That. And then I'm just going to use my scissors here and give a little snip. We'll do the same thing on this side. Right along the edge there. And then give a little snip. All right, and then on this page, you will not need these little pieces. You can throw those away. We need a 4x6 and 3x4 photo mat. The 4x6 is going to get framed down in this corner. That way you've got plenty of room for that flap. And then the 3x4 is going to come about 3/4 inch down from the top of that picture there, maybe 1/2 inch. You want just a little bit of space right in there. Now from those pieces that I've already cut for you, you're going to grab one of those and one of these. And this gold one's going to go up here in the corner, kind of filling in that empty space. And then I'm going to put the green one so that it overlaps that purple just a little bit, and it helps it stand out. You decide here if you want to use foam tape, or I'm just going to put some adhesive along the left-hand side, and I'm just slightly overlapping. I want it to come down onto this picture just a little bit. I want it to come over to this envelope just a little bit. So it kind of helps hold that envelope down. I'm actually going to put a little more adhesive right in here. Hold it. All right, we've got our fun little string dancing up there. Now, I'm not going to do it for the sake of time, but I used my white gel pen and I did dash marks along here and along here and here and here, and then used my ruler and did some lines for journaling. Then also one of the punch out pieces is this cute little spot down here that could be easily used for the date or a name or, you know, something like that. Then grab your gems, and we've just got 3 gems on this page, a big and 2 littles. And then again, with the white gel pen, I did go through and just filled in all those little like flowery spots on those. When we're all done, if you've got cards left over, fronts or backs, then you can use whatever pieces you have left over to finish that part up. For this one, we need, this is the piece that we cut from the other side. So we're just gonna, you wanna make sure that you've got where you cut, know where you cut it, so that it then flows across the page from the other side. And this, just like the other one, is going 2 inches up from the bottom. And hopefully straight. And then we need one more. This one's got the white on it. Again, 2 inches up from the bottom. And this one, I'm having the white show along the edge. Next, you're going to take your 4 1/4 by 11 1/2. And this one is going to, you want evenly spaced top and bottom, have that butt right up along the edge of that card. Then this piece, just killed my adhesive. All right, and then this one's going to need to get snipped as well. Just grab your scissors at the end here and give a little trim. Oop. Okay, let me grab some adhesive. So the gold foil piece, I'm going to tuck down in here in the corner. Then this one's got a couple little guys. Just make sure you pop all those little jobbers out if there's anything stuck in there. And I felt like I needed just a few more up here, so because I didn't go over quite far enough. So I did add a few more right in there. I'm not going to add the ribbon this time because you've seen me do it a couple of times now. You get it. I'm sure you get it. This one, if you want to foam tape it, you can, but you don't have to. And I'm only putting adhesive on the outer port so that I can overlap this over the pictures. Then thank you or whatever other thing you want to say there. I put mine a little further down, but this one I want to kind of cover up where I overdid it up here a little bit. And then we're going to add our pictures. So we've got a 4 by 4 at the top and at the bottom. And then a 3 by 4 slides right in the middle of those two. Grab my gems. We've got a little one down here and a big and a little up here. All right, and then let's talk finishing touches over here. One of the things that I did do is I took the ink pad and kind of popped the lid a little bit, and that transfers the color over to the lid. Then I can take my water brush with a little bit of water and just add a couple little splashes. So that's what I did kind of down here, a couple of splashes down here, do a couple of splashes up in here. And then I'm going to pull out our other page that we just finished and add a couple of those little splatters down here and up in here. It just adds a little extra something. It's not a big deal if you decide not to do it. Just adds a nice little finishing touch. So let's take a look. I do believe, oh, and our dashes with the white gel pen. So dashes here and dashes up through here, and then the white gel pen all through there to finish that page up. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you this. Here I also did some splatters, not just with ink, but also with white gloss spray. So if you see the white splatters in there too, that's what that's from. Show you up close over here too. So if you want to do that, you might want to do all your splattering first. Totally up to you to decide how you want to handle that. Here I'm using Fern ink, and I'm going to do a stamp up here. And then these ones I want to end about 2.5 inches down. So just gonna line it up right about there. All right. We're gonna need this piece. I'm gonna take this right in here. And I can pop it right down. It's gonna get covered up by some other stuff. All right, next we need this piece here that's 4¼ by 11½. That's going evenly spaced left and right. Ooh, we need to cut that down just a little bit, friends. You need to cut a 1/2 inch off so that it's 11½. Unfortunately, I didn't cut that right. Oopsies. All right, because you need a little bit of space on either side there. Then from our photo mats, we're adding 2 4x4s and a 3x4. Actually, before we do that, I want you to take one of these pieces and fold it right in half. And then you're going to use your scissors and just trim. Now, both sides look the same. So we can cut that right in half. And these pieces are going to go right here. Then our picture is going to go over top of that. So 4x4, 4x4, and then our 3x4. All right, you've got some gold strips. You're going to need one of those gold strips. And that's going to go along the bottom of that purple piece. Do a little trimming. Then we've got our flower. With these flowers, you just want to make sure there's a teeny tiny little piece right in here that you just want to make sure gets popped out. It doesn't look quite right if you don't. Now, if you want to do all the string underneath there, you certainly can. I'm going to do it without this time. Leave it right like that. We've got a little circle. You can either make overlap the picture or put it underneath. Then I did journaling lines up here using, oh goodness, one of the pens and a ruler. Then I added that thank you if you want to do the words. So I'm not doing any words on this one. Then down here, we've got a big and 2 littles of our gems. And then 2 littles, one in each of these spaces here. So again, I did do some splattering. I did a lot more, went in with the markers on each of those little flowers. A lot more advanced artwork done on this particular one over this one, but they're still very beautiful, whether you decide to do the extra work or not. With this envelope, I took a blending brush and the thistle ink, and just added some color with the blending brush along there. Totally up to you if you want to do that. But if you do it, I do recommend that you do it before you go taping this piece down. All right, so we're going to do another envelope. Same way we've been doing it. Just want to make sure you get a good seal there. And then this one's going in the same place we just did the last one. So just a little bit over from the right-hand side. And then the flap comes across the front. Oh, don't put this down yet. Now we need these two card bases are going 2 inches up from the bottom of our page. Then we can add this piece. And that is going closer to the right-hand side, but there's no true dimension. Oh, before we do that, my goodness, you guys, I almost missed the stamping. Let's get our stamping done first. So I've got one of these down in here, and then a whole bunch up in this corner here. As much or as little of that as you want to do, kind of filling in the space. You can bring it along the edge. I'm going to put another one kind of up over in here. And I'm going to put one kind of over in here. Okay. Now we can add this piece. It's pretty even. All right, our photo mats are a 4x6 down in that corner, and then 2 3x3s. And then this last one's going to go just slightly higher than the 4x6. Going to add our little sprig of color up here in the corner. Then we've got our flower. Again, if you decide you want to use the foam to pop it up, you certainly can. If you want to use all the string, you can. I'm keeping my adhesive off to the side in the middle so that it's going to overlap. We're kind of framing the corner of this picture here. So this green leaf is going to kind of cover up that corner. And then I'm going to angle it so that just a little bit of this tucks and creates a little flap for our envelope. Then down here, we've got one of our tabs, and I'm just going to put tape along the bottom of it and overlap it over that picture. Oh, before I do that, let's do our gold pieces. So I added my glitter to the top and the bottom there. Then this piece can now go on there in the corner, and I can still get my picture in there because I didn't put adhesive there. All right, again, if you want to, you can add your ribbon. Let me grab some gems. We've got a big and 2 littles up here. And then a big one right here. And then I used one of these strips from the punch outs and just stamped "I appreciate you so much" from the stamp set on there. Colored in, you know, basically the same techniques we did on the last one. So what do you have left? So you've got 3 card bases left. You've got tons of card fronts, 2 flowers, a little sprig, and that left, plus these little sentiment pieces. Here's what I created, 1, 2, 3, from those leftovers. This one, super simple. I just added that strip, put the thank you on there. I appreciate you so much. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gems, added it to a card front, done. All right, so that one's really, really super simple. This one, I stamped 1, 2, popped up that flower, put you're the best on there, and then 1, 2, 3 gems. Added it to a card front, the end. And then this one, 1, 2 stamps. I put the sprig on there, the flower, a circle with thank you. I appreciate you so much. 1, 2, 3, 4 gems. Whatever you want to do with what pieces are left is totally up to you. You might look at it and go, you know what? I'm going to pull out some cardstock, 12 by 12, and make another page or two. That's cool too. I'd love to see what you create with what's left over. Thanks for watching. I hope this was fun. And I'd love for you to comment and show me what you've created.